Michelle Duggar, very sick Jim Bob crying. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For Duggar family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. The Duggar family had always presented themselves as strong, faithful, and close-knit. Their lives were filled with the challenges of raising such a large family, but they leaned heavily on their faith to get through each storm. However, the fall of 2025 brought a crisis unlike anything they had faced before. Michelle's sudden illness. Michelle Duggar, the matriarch of the famous Duggar family, had always been the steady anchor. She was known for her calm, gentle demeanor and her ability to manage 19 children with patience and grace. But in early September, the family's world shifted when Michelle suddenly fell ill. It started as fatigue. Michelle complained of feeling more tired than usual, and her family assumed it was just the busyness of life. But one morning, as she tried to prepare breakfast, she collapsed on the kitchen floor. Jana, who had been nearby, rushed to her mother's side, screaming for help. "Dad, come quick." "Mom's not responding," Jana cried, her hands trembling as she checked Michelle's pulse. Jim Bob rushed down the stairs, his face pale and eyes wide with fear. The children watched in horror as paramedics arrived and carried Michelle out on a stretcher. The younger Duggar kids were sobbing, while the older ones tried to comfort them even though their own hearts were breaking. Hospital admission. Michelle was rushed to Washington Regional Medical Center in Arkansas. Doctors immediately placed her under observation. The Duggar family gathered in the waiting room, filling nearly every chair. The atmosphere was heavy. Jim Bob sat with his head in his hands, whispering prayers through his tears. He had always been the strong protector, but now, watching his wife hooked up to machines, he felt powerless. "Lord, please don't take her from us," Jim Bob whispered, his voice cracking. Jill and Jessa hugged each other tightly, while Joanna tried to keep the younger siblings distracted with coloring books and soft songs. But every few minutes, one of the little ones would look up with wide, frightened eyes and ask, "Is Mommy going to be okay?" The diagnosis. After hours of waiting, the doctor came out to speak with Jim Bob and the family. His face was serious. "Mrs. Duggar is experiencing severe complications related to her heart. She's stable for now, but her condition is critical. We need to run further tests to see the extent of the damage." Jim Bob's knees buckled, and Joseph grabbed his father to steady him. "Doctor, please just do everything you can," Jim Bob pleaded, tears streaming down his face. The family erupted into prayers, their voices mingling in a desperate chorus. They had faced scandals, financial struggles, and public criticism over the years, but nothing compared to the thought of losing Michelle, the heart of their family. Jim Bob's breakdown. That night, when most of the kids had gone home to rest, Jim Bob stayed at the hospital. He sat by Michelle's bedside, holding her hand tightly. Tubes and monitors surrounded her, but all he could see was the woman who had given him 19 children, the love of his life. "Michelle, please don't leave me," he whispered, his voice shaking. "I can't do this without you. The kids need their mama." For the first time in years, Jim Bob sobbed uncontrollably. His shoulders shook, and his tears fell onto Michelle's hand. Nurses passing by could hear his broken prayers. When Michelle briefly opened her eyes, she whispered weakly, "Jim Bob, don't cry. God is in control." But that only made him cry harder. Family gatherings. News spread quickly among the Duggar children who had already married and moved away. Within days, the hospital waiting room was filled with in-laws, grandchildren, and friends. Jinger flew in from Los Angeles with Jeremy, holding her baby close. Jill came with Derek, despite the strained relationship she sometimes had with her parents. Even Josh, still facing legal battles, asked for updates constantly through Anna, who visited the hospital with their children. It was a bittersweet scene. Siblings who hadn't spoken in months found themselves side by side, holding hands and praying together. "Whatever's happened between us, it doesn't matter now," Jessa said, her eyes red from crying. "We need to stand together for Mom." The children's fear. The younger Duggar children were especially shaken. For years, their mother had been their source of comfort, teaching them, tucking them into bed, and leading family Bible studies. Seeing her in a hospital bed with wires and machines scared them deeply. Johanna clung to Jana, whispering, "What if Mom doesn't come home? What if she dies?" Jana held her sister close, fighting back her own tears. God is bigger than all of this, Johanna. We have to keep believing. Community response. The family's church community organized prayer vigils, and neighbors brought meals to the Duggar home. Social media exploded with fans and critics alike sharing their reactions. Supporters flooded the family's page with prayers and words of encouragement, while critics whispered that the stress of so many children might have taken a toll on Michelle's health. Still, the family focused only on one thing: praying for a miracle. Jim Bob's guilt. Late one night, Jim Bob confided in John David. "Son, I keep thinking, did I push her too hard all these years? Did I lean on her too much with the kids, the house, the ministry?" His voice cracked as he wiped his face. "If I lose her, I don't know how I'll forgive myself." John David put a hand on his father's shoe. "Dad, Mom always said she felt called to this life. She loved us. She loved you. Don't carry that guilt." But deep inside, Jim Bob couldn't shake the feeling that he had failed his wife. Michelle's struggle. Over the next few days, Michelle drifted in and out of consciousness. Sometimes she was able to whisper short words of encouragement, telling her children to stay strong and reminding them to trust God. Other times, she was silent, her breathing shallow and labored. Each moment felt like a battle between life and death, a family divided. As the crisis dragged on, old tensions resurfaced among the Duggar children. Jill, still hurt by past conflicts, found herself questioning her place in the family. Jinga, too, struggled with the strict values she had left behind in Los Angeles, but when they gathered around their mother's bed, those differences melted away, at least for a while. "Mom always wanted us united," Jessa reminded them. "We can't let her down now." Jim Bob's public statement. Eventually, Jim Bob released a statement to the public. "Our family is walking through one of the hardest trials we have ever faced. Michelle is very sick and remains in the hospital under close care. We humbly ask for your prayers during this time. We trust the Lord with her life, but our hearts are heavy. Thank you for standing with us." The words reflected his faith, but behind closed doors, his tears never stopped, a glimmer of hope. After nearly 2 weeks, Michelle's condition stabilized. Doctors said she was still weak and would require a long recovery, but she had made it through the worst. The news brought relief, but also a new challenge. How would the family adjust if Michelle couldn't take on the same role she once had? Jana quietly stepped into her mother's shoes, managing meals and caring for the younger children. Jessa organized shifts for siblings to help with laundry, cooking, and cleaning. Duggar news. Fans slam Anna Duggar for charging $2,000 per puppy amid Josh's financial woes. Duggar news followers are barking mad at Anna Duggar because of his pricey puppy business. She is charging a jaw-dropping $2,000 per pup, and viewers are still picking up their dropped jaws. Apparently, the price tag is not only insane but also unreasonable and shocking. While Anna is chasing the dollars by doing anything and everything under the sun, her husband is struggling to make ends meet. Yes, Josh claims to be broke behind bars, and now his wife is doing insane things to grab cash. This makes viewers wonder if there is some underlying connection and they are connecting all the dots. Is this true? What is this all about? Keep on reading to learn more about this controversy. Duggar news. Anna Duggar has cut ties with Josh Duggar amid his financial issues. Duggar news followers recently learned about Josh Duggar's financial issues behind bars. He claimed that he had a measly 22 cents in his account, with a debt of 2 cents to boot. But what about his family? Aren't they sending him money? Well, Josh claimed that he occasionally receives funds from his friends and family, but it is not regular. Amid all this, some sources claimed that Anna Duggar has moved on in her life with someone new. The word on the street is that she's been calling the prison to inquire about someone who wasn't her husband, Josh. She was asking about the well-being of some other inmate and claimed that she was close to that person. Duggar news. Anna Duggar is charging $2,000 per puppy. Duggar news followers are well aware of Anna Duggar's side hustle when Josh Duggar is behind bars. Apparently, she breeds English cream AKC Golden Retrievers and has a venture named Golden Grove Pups. Hence, the celeb even has an Instagram page where she often posts content related to her dogs and puppies. Amid all this, Anna recently shared a post where she revealed the price of one pup. Apparently, they had a slapping price tag of $2,000 on each. The celeb asked her audience if they were looking for a furry friend and revealed that they could get one for just $2,000 at their home within a few days. Anna further shared the names of all the pups, and viewers had to admit that they were really cute. But it seems that Anna's price chart didn't really sit well with her audience. A user slammed her for having an insane price, while another accused her of lacking sufficient knowledge about dogs and breeding. Someone further claimed that they were about to order one, but the rate left them speechless. Hence, it is evident that viewers aren't impressed by Anna's expensive price chart. Even after all this, Anna Duggar is trying her best to make her business successful. She is using social media and her kids to make reels and introduce her pups to the world. Apparently, there have been several instances when her own children were featured playing with the dogs just to show the audience how much they were enjoying themselves with them. Fans are happy to see Anna doing something productive in life, but they believe that she should have a more realistic approach when it comes to the rates of her pups. She needs to tone them down a bit. What do you think? Do let us know in the comment section. Keep coming back to the TV season and spoilers for more updates. Josh Duggar's request for a court-appointed lawyer has been denied. Even after a judge rejected Josh Duggar's appeal in his child pornography case in 2023 and again in 2024, the former reality star hasn't given up on trying to escape serving the rest of his sentence. But unfortunately for him, he's hit yet another dead end. His request for a court-appointed lawyer has been denied in his latest attempt to have his case reconsidered, and it certainly seems like he's running out of options at this point. The motion he filed was denied last week. As Arkansas local news affiliate KNWA reported on June 5, 2025, U.S. Magistrate Judge Christy Comstock said Josh's motion lacked sufficient detail and thus didn't justify his request. According to the news outlet, if the petition presents a non-frivolous claim and other factors, such as legal or factual complexity warrant assistance, a lawyer could have been appointed. But in this case, it seems those standards weren't met. He asked for a court-appointed lawyer in May. In the documents Josh filed, he claimed that new legal theories and strategies that have emerged in public discourse could help him fight his conviction. And because as an incarcerated person, he is unable to afford an attorney on his own, he wanted the court to appoint one to him. The defendant requests counsel for the limited purpose of reviewing the record, evaluating possible constitutional claims, and, if meritorious grounds exist, preparing and filing a motion. Read the documents he filed. He wrote a letter to Judge Timothy L. Brooks. As The Sun reported, Josh wrote a letter to the judge who presided over his case when he was convicted and sentenced, Timothy L. Brooks, as part of his request. During my time of incarceration, I have worked diligently to focus on education, personal growth, my faith, and to maintain strong family ties, Josh wrote in the letter. However, as I review my case, I believe there are significant issues relating to trial errors, evidentiary rulings, and other constitutional violations that merit a thorough post-conviction review. He continued, I am unable to fully assess these matters on my own, which is why I seek the assistance of qualified counsel to help evaluate whether relief is justified. At this point, it seems likely Josh will have to serve his full sentence. Try as he might to have his conviction vacated, it appears the former 19 Kids and Counting star has officially run out of options. He's not due to be released from FCI Segoville, the federal prison facility where he has been serving out his sentence, until October 2032, so he might want to get comfy if he hasn't already. It's going to be a while.